Okay. It says you are live. We are live. Welcome. Welcome to this episode of, I need to look up, this episode of Pep Talk, Productive Environment Podcast. Let me let you guys get in and get settled. And we're going to talk about everybody's favorite subject today, email. Yay! Is that your favorite subject, Barbara?
Well, it's more of a favorite subject than it used to be because I've figured out a lot about how to control it.
That's right. I was just sharing, as you guys are getting settled in here, I was just sharing how, the title of this thumbnail is "Your Email is Lying to You." And I was thinking a better, more appropriate word might have been sabotage. So I think it's kind of the same thing. Your email is sabotaging you. So, and I'll explain what I mean by that in just a second. So let me let everybody get in, and then we will jump into this. So, all right. Well, let me just ask you guys a question for those of you that are on. And if you're watching the replay later, you can answer wherever you're watching from. Have you ever searched your inbox for an email that you know exists, but you can't find it? Has that ever happened to anyone? Please, wherever you're watching from, please put in the chat or in the comments. Has that ever happened to you? Now, I know that, I've seen email. It's like you see it, it's there, but it has disappeared. So, you remember seeing the notification. This just happened the other day. You saw the notification. You might even have read the email, and you might even remember what it said. But then when you go to look for it later, it's not there. And you're thinking, am I crazy? You search the sender. Yeah, Kathy says, here, let me pop it in here. Kathy Music with New Path Productivity, one of our specialists. She said, yes, it drives me crazy. Yes. And we think we're crazy. We think we're crazy when it's happening. So let me take that image down so we can just talk to you guys. So yeah, so you might go in and search by sender. Like, I know Barbara sent me this email. Let me search Barbara. You might search a keyword, and maybe the keyword is pep talk. So let me search Barbara, pep talk. And then you might even search the subject line. You might remember a few of the words and it's just not showing up. And you are thinking, did I delete it? Did they never send it, but you swear you saw it? Or the most common thing is like, am I losing my mind? That's what I think. So if y'all are just joining us, put in the chat if that ever happens to you, where you could swear you received an email, and you need to go back to it, but you just can't find it. So we're talking about something that's something we see all the time. Again, your email is lying to you, or your email is sabotaging you, not intentionally, but behind the scenes, your email system is constantly moving things around without you realizing it. So before we dive into that, I am Andrea Anderson, CEO of Productive Environment Institute, and I am here in Carolina Beach, North Carolina, joined today by...
I'm Barbara Hemphill, founder of Productive Environment Institute.
Awesome. And she's joining us from Raleigh, North Carolina, just 2 short hours away. So let's talk about the email illusion. Okay, so email makes us think that makes us believe that everything is in one place, right? It's in our system. It's in my email. It's all there. But it really isn't. Your inbox is not your whole email system. It's just the front door. If you think of it as a building, it's just that your inbox is the front door. But behind the scenes, there are these things called filters, spam folders, promotion tabs, rules, third-party apps, archived email, and multiple accounts. Okay, so all those things are in the background, right? So when people say, I can't find that email, I know it's here somewhere, they're often right, but the system may have moved it. Okay, so let me share an example of one of the most common ways that our email lies to us or sabotages us. This actually happened to me. We had a client who often said, I can't find my emails. My emails are missing. My emails are gone. And it was a constant thing. And then it started happening to me too. And I was like, what? And I was like, I get it. She's right. Like the email that you knew was there is just not there anymore. And so I got on Chat GPT like I love to do. And I said, all my emails, I'm searching for emails that I know should be there. I use Gmail. So that's the platform I'm talking about right now. And I can't find my emails. And so ChatGPT gave me a list of things to try. And one of them was check your filters, check your rules. Okay. Check your email rules, and see if you have a rule that is filtering some of those emails out. And I ignored that advice because I thought, no, I would know if I had rules for that. I would know. Because there were some that were very, really important people that I would want to hear from now, that maybe I heard from a lot. This is exactly what happened. Actually, somebody I had heard from a lot in the past, but wasn't really reading the emails. And, so maybe I set up a rule back then, but then now I forget about it and I am not getting those emails. And I'm like, why am I not getting this person's emails? So ChatGPT told me to check my filters, check my rules. And I thought, no, that's too simple. That's not the problem. So I tried a bunch of other things. And then I thought, okay, let me check my rules, because in every email platform, whether you're Gmail, Outlook, anything else, there's some kind of system called rules that you can set up and filter certain emails from certain people to skip your inbox. And maybe you send them to a specific folder or another label or something. And so I decided to check, and you guys, there were hundreds of rules set up. Hundreds. And I know I didn't set them up. So I thought, what in the world? How did this happen? And I looked specifically for people who I had been looking for. Like I'm standing next to, there was one situation where I was standing next to somebody. I watched her send me an email. I literally was next to her computer. I watched her send me an email and I never got it. And I thought, there's something going on. Check spam, not there. And so when I went in and looked at those rules and found that I had hundreds of rules set up, I realized that there was a third-party app that I had installed on my computer years ago. And this was even before AI, you guys. So I don't know what it was doing, but it had made decisions for me. It said, and there's a lot of email tools out there, guys. So if you're using any of these email, like inbox zero, certain things that promise to get you to inbox zero, if you're using any of those or any of these new AI tools for email, be careful, because you're outsourcing your thinking and your decision making. And Barbara, what do you say about decisions?
Clutter is postponed decisions.
That's right. Postponed decisions, or maybe even delegated decisions. If we delegate, we blindly delegate our decision making to somebody else, right? And so anyway, that's what happened. This third-party app that was supposed to promise to help me declutter my inbox and keep it streamlined had just been running in the background. And I went to that person that I was specifically looking for, and lo and behold, there was a rule. And it wasn't that particular person, but it was their domain. So it was @ and then the business name that had been set up to skip the inbox and delete. Now, if it had said skip the inbox and archive, I would have found it, because it would have been under all mail. Gmail has something called all mail. I would have found it there, not in my inbox, but it would have been in my archive, which is all mail. But it was actually programmed to skip the inbox and delete. So I never saw it. Never. I mean, maybe it popped, maybe like a flash of it, and then it was gone. So I was shocked. I'm telling you guys this. I'm being very transparent with you, because I was shocked that I had hundreds and hundreds of these email rules that were just running in the background. And I thought, how many emails have I missed because of this? So just want to caution you. Well, that's one thing you can actually do today. When we get off this pep talk, go into your email platform. And if you're in Gmail, there's the little gear icon, and you can go in there and there's one of the settings, and then one of the settings is filter rules and filters, something like that. And all of your platforms have something like that. If you're not sure, then find the help button in your email platform, and or ask ChatGPT or one of your AI tools. Just say, I use XYZ email. How do I see my rules and filters? I encourage you guys to take a look at that. You might be surprised. I thought that was too simple of an answer, and that couldn't possibly be what my problem was, but it was. So anybody else that's joined us in here, let us know, does that happen to you? Do you get emails, or you think you should have emails and just can't find them? So there's another place that this happens, and that's specifically in Gmail. Promotions, right? All those extra little tabs, your promotions or your updates or social, there may be things going in there. Again, your system is making that decision for you, right? And so how many, and then of course, spam, so if you're looking for something, that's always the first thing to do, is go check spam. Because I know our emails, Barbara, I know our emails go into people's spams all the time. And it's weird because it's important people. Like, there are times, Barbara, that your emails will go into spam on my side, and probably
I know
vice versa.
Like, so one of the things that I've had to learn is that if you're sending an email to someone that's really important and you don't get a response, you really need to say, did you get the email, or reach them in some way. A lot of times I'll text somebody and say, I sent you an email, or whatever, which it makes more clutter, but it's one of the things that technology was supposed to simplify, but in some ways complicated. It's kind of the same as, that digital was supposed to take away the paper, but still there's a lot of paper being generated, because I just had a situation this morning where with an institution, it's like, okay, we need that, but we need to have it in paper. So I was like, wow.
Yeah. In fact, that just gave me, you just reminded me of something. I want you guys to think about your email inbox right now. Think about your email inbox and think about the number of emails you have in there, in your inbox, not necessarily all mail. All mail is things that you've archived and they're there if you need them. That's okay. That's kind of the same thing as reference, future reference. Hopefully you've made a decision to archive them, meaning you want to be able to access them in the future. But think about your actual inbox. How many emails are in your inbox? And if those were pieces of paper, if each email, not even an email thread, but each individual message in a thread, every single email, imagine if that was a piece of paper, what would your desk look like? What would your countertop look like, or your dining room table, wherever was your command center? What would that look like if each item in there was a piece of paper? And Barbara, that just made me think about what you always say about digital clutter. What do you say? It's like a
bigger, faster, hidden mess.
Yes. Bigger, faster, hidden mess. Because if we think about our paper, I mean, there comes a point where you see it, you can see it, and you can figure out what to do to manage it. There are ways, and especially we teach ways for you to declutter and organize and manage your pile of paper. But your emails and your digital files are hidden. So they're just accumulating year after year after year, more and more messages in there. So that's something that we want to talk about, that, we teach a finding system, and there are 3 decisions that we make about anything, 3 initial decisions that we make about anything, whether it's paper, email, or digital files on your computer. And we call it the art of organizing information, or even more specifically, the art of organizing email. I'm going to tell you what those are in just a second. I'm not going to give it away just yet. But there are decisions that we need to make about every piece of information that comes our way if we want to stay on top of things, not have important information or important things fall through the cracks, and get stuff done. So let me give you a couple more examples before we do that. Archive versus delete. Okay, many people think they deleted something when they actually archived it, or they think they archived it but they actually deleted it. So that can cause issues. The email leaves the inbox, but it may still exist if it's in your archive or your all mail. So you can go in there and search all of these. That's the blessing of the digital stuff, is there are built-in search capabilities. If you can remember enough keywords or enough, important information about it, if it's there, you should be able to find it. But how much time did you waste trying? Another issue that happens is having multiple email accounts. Okay. So this is extremely common. If you have multiple accounts, maybe you've got Gmail for business and you've got Yahoo for personal, and then you've got something else. I mean, maybe you have multiple Gmail accounts or multiple Yahoo, whatever. It could be the same platform, but in multiple accounts, or it could be multiple platforms. And so when you're looking for something, it's like, oh, which email did that come to? Where did that, and then that just adds more time, because then you're having to go and search each individual email box. Now, I'm not saying this is right or wrong. Everybody has their own system, but at least be intentional about the system. I intentionally have 3 email addresses, and I have intentionally have them come into the same inbox. So whether you email me at this one, or this one, I'm going to, assuming there's no rules and filters set up, I'm going to get that email in my one inbox. That works for me. Now, I believe Kathy, who's on here, she's listening in, she has separate inboxes. She's got inbox for business and she has inbox for personal, and she checks them separately. When she's in business mode, she checks that. When she's in personal mode, she checks this, and that works for her.
And a lot of people, one other way that I've seen used commonly is people will have an email that they use just for ordering, just for placing orders and things like that, which actually I've never done it, but it makes an enormous amount of sense to do that, because otherwise you get so much. So that's another way. But you use the right word, Andrea. It's the word intentional. It's like figuring out what. And it's back to the art of organizing. It doesn't, people always ask us, what should I do? And we've said thousands of times, that's the wrong question. The question is, what will you do? And that's the reason that we're still in business, is because it's not cookie cutter where this is the way you should do it, but it's figuring out, painting a picture for you of what art of organizing means to you. And that applies to your email like everything else.
That's right. Making those decisions. So, and there's different things in our Soar to Success program. We go very deep into how to handle your email. If you have thousands of emails, we have systems that can help you bulk remove, bulk delete quickly. Because one of the things that Barbara teaches is that today's mail is tomorrow's pile, which means if you keep trying to go back and address the old stuff, the new stuff is coming in and it's piling up again. That's the same for paper. It's the same for email, and it's the same for digital clutter. It's digital files as well. So what we're gonna teach you here in a second, the decision-making framework for email. It's the same decision-making framework for paper, and it's the same decision-making framework for digital clutter, computer files. You're gonna learn that system, and you can start applying it today, but don't feel like you have to go back and make decisions about old email. That will drive you crazy. Even going back a week, if you look back at your emails from just a week ago, that could take you all day, depending on how many emails you get. So, we're going to teach you the framework, and then you can start from here forward. We're actually doing, I'll tell you more at the end, but we're doing a workshop on this very thing on Thursday of this week. So be sure Eds will put up there you go, right there. Perfect. Workshop.productiveenvironment.com. If you want help setting this up and actually doing it, we'll be doing it together 2 days from now. So depending on when you're listening to this recording, still go to that website and see when our workshop is. So basically, all of those things I just described, they create stress. And the stress comes from having an unreliable email system, or not even having a system at all, where we end up with these multiple email addresses. Because I know with Google, Google gives you 15 gigabytes of space for each account that you have. And so people don't want to pay for extra space. So they just create a new Google account, which gives them another Gmail address. And so they end up with 3, 4, 5, 6 Gmail addresses because they wanted extra. So sometimes it pays just to pay the subscription and keep it simple. So think about that. Take a look at and do an inventory of what you guys are doing, how you ended up with so many email accounts and so much clutter, email clutter. So what happens is you stop trusting your system if you even had one. You end up keeping everything. So the inboxes that grow and grow and grow, you're not making those decisions. So they're just staying there. You're rereading the same message. You're searching constantly, and that takes time. You're spending hours managing your email instead of actually getting the work done. So Kathy says, just like paper, our digital world needs to be maintained. Exactly. We can't, I always use the example of brushing your teeth. You can't say, well, I brushed my teeth this week, or I brushed my teeth this month. We do it daily. And so the more, once we can get a nice system in place for email, keeping it up daily, every other day, weekly, something to be able to maintain it is super important. And that's why we have structured our programs the way we have. We don't just teach you, we stay with you. Like you're in our coaching and co-working program where each week we meet together and we do our work, whether that's clearing out your physical inbox or your email inbox, and filing and sorting and rebooting and regrouping. So really all of that happens, all that stress comes from, again, Barbara, clutter is postponed decisions. We're not stopping long enough to make a decision about the email because we don't know what to make. Like we don't know what to do with it. So we're going to teach you guys just a very brief, you may have heard it before, but don't let the simplicity fool you. It's powerful. It's a simple way to think about email, and that every email, like I said, if every email was a piece of paper, every email requires a decision. Every email. I don't care if you have 10 emails, 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000. Every email requires a decision. So what does this mean and what should happen next? That's look at your email. What does this mean and what should happen next? Do I need to do something with this? Or do I need to save this? Or can I let it go? Right? Does that sound familiar? So, but most people were never taught how to make those decisions. And so we teach the art of organizing email. And this may sound familiar to you if you've been around us, but action, reference, toss, ART. And in the world of paper, toss could be toss, recycle, or shred, right? And in the world of digital, it would be delete, okay? But we don't like ARD. ART is more fun than ARD. But it means the same thing. Action, reference, toss. What does that mean? If you look at an email, you look at that email and you say, do I need to take some action on this? Maybe it's reply. Maybe the action is forward. Maybe the action is a task that you need to do. If there's something that needs to happen as a result of you receiving that email, that is an action. Okay. If it's something you just want to keep for future reference, that's a reference. That's AR. That's the R, and that could end up being an archive. So hold on, let me answer this question here. For the Thursday store event, if I'm unable to attend the live training, is there a way to access the recording of the session? Yes, absolutely. And you actually get more than the recording. You guys, you will have access to a private space with the replay and resources. So anything we share with you on the workshop, I mean, it's going to be really good and paced out nicely, but it can also feel like a fire hose of, water just coming at you, So we want to give you time to digest it. So you will have time after the workshop to go in and download any resources, go back and watch certain parts, and implement the things that we're teaching. So absolutely sign up for the workshop, and you'll get the support that you need afterwards as well. If you're not able to make it, just shoot me an email too. Once you sign up, you'll have my email address, I believe. just reply back and say, hey, I'm the one that asked the question on the call, and I won't be there, but I do plan to watch the replay, just to touch base. Okay. So that's what we're going to be teaching on the workshop on Thursday, and then actually demonstrating. We're going to demonstrate the art of organizing information for paper. That's Barbara's finding system that she created 40, almost 50 years ago. You're going to learn the paper, the whole thing that the paper tiger motif and everything came from, taming the paper tiger. You're going to learn that for paper. You're going to learn it for email, and you're going to learn it for your digital computer files as well. Now, of course, you guys know that you won't get everything in your life organized in that. It's a 2.5 hour workshop. I mean, that's a good amount of time, but you're still not going to get everything organized, but you're going to have the structure in place, and you will learn what to do and how to do it. And then some of you may say, got it, good, I'm on my own now. And then there's others that, you'll have an opportunity to join us we have different levels of our SOAR program, depending on how much additional support that you need. And the idea here for ongoing is that it is ongoing, that I think we have a thing called the 5-step productive environment process. And we're going to go over that on the workshop too. But the fifth step is sustain your success. And in order to continue sustaining your success and continue filing your paper and finding your information and keeping your email inbox clean, that's ongoing. That's habit creation. That's routines. And that's what we do together in our SOAR to Success program. So you'll learn all about that as well. So let me give you the details for Thursday. It is 1 p.m. Eastern time on Thursday. So that's 1 to 3:30. It's a 2.5 hour workshop. And we will take a couple breaks. Don't worry, you're not going to be sitting. I won't make you sit for 2.5 hours straight. But you guys can go ahead. Eds, if you'll put that link back up again, they can register for that and join us on Thursday. You will be learning really Barbara's entire system in a short amount of time. And like I said, it's almost like when people say, well, I don't want to give away too much. I don't want to give away too much on, at a low price or free or whatever, want to hold back. We're not holding anything back. You're getting the whole thing. In fact, our new book that just came out, this is the sample copy that Barbara and I each got. So this is Barbara. This is Andrea Anderson with Barbara Hemphill, SOAR to Success by Mastering the Art of Organizing Information to Finally Get Things Done. Guess what? The entire system is in this book too. And the entire system was in Barbara's Taming the Paper Tiger book for years.
But I can't tell you how many people have told me, like, I would be introduced somewhere and say, oh, I have your book. But, it was just clutter. It was just.
Yeah. So just because you have the information and you've learned it, and the workshop will give you, we're going to give you everything. It doesn't mean you're going to do it. It doesn't mean you're going to keep it up. And that's why we have built a wonderful community of people that actually do it together. If you're watching on and you're in our SOAR program, just make a quick comment before we wrap up. But we do it together. We do it as a group so that everybody continues moving forward and keeping their paper. It's not always perfect, you guys. It's not always perfect. And some people, it depends on how much you have. It could take you a year to get all your paper decluttered and organized. Same thing with your email, or it may take you a month, or if you have very little, it could take you a week. It just depends on what you have. But the habits need to be created. And every single thing is built upon clutter is postponed decisions. We teach a decision-making framework to help you make decisions. And we call that the first sort. Is this an action? Is this a reference that I want to keep? Or is this something I can toss, recycle, or shred? Okay. Or delete in the digital world. So those are the things. So I want to leave you guys with, just take a few minutes at some point, whether you have time right now after you listen, or schedule some time in the week, go into your email system, check your rules and your filters. go to your help section and or an AI tool of choice and ask how to find if you've got, just explain maybe you're missing emails, or say, how do I set up rules, or how do I remove rules, and do some email hygiene. There may be just a few things you can do. It'll take you a couple of minutes to do to really clean up your inbox, and then be able to start making those decisions. Last thing is, and we're going to do this together in the workshop, but again, something, if you're pretty comfortable with your email platform, I would just recommend that you create one folder called action, and one folder, or in Gmail, it's a label, called reference. That one tiny little action, because you're setting up two folders, can make a huge difference. And from this moment on, as email comes in today, look at it and say, is this an action? Is this a reference? And then I'll just stop there, because I can go down the rabbit hole with email. But do that and just practice strengthening that muscle, that decision-making muscle. And then if it's a toss, if it's, clutter or an ad or something, just go ahead and delete it. Just go ahead and delete it. Don't worry about trying to go back to the old stuff yet. Just start from right now. So Barbara, any closing thoughts as we wrap up this session?
Well, I have three little quick ones. One is, people often say, I'm too busy to get organized. And the irony is, the reason they're busy is because they're disorganized. So one of the things that the workshop is designed to do is to stop the problem. And you can stop the problem very, very quickly. And that's what it's designed to do. And then I think about, in The Merchant of Venice, there was a line that said, if only to know were to do. So often people say, oh, I know how to do this, but we just don't do it. So the question is, what's the one thing that would make the biggest difference in my productivity? The answer to that question, I guarantee you, is something we will address in the workshop. So join us.
Amen. Very good. Thank you all for joining our pep talk today. If there's a topic you'd like us to cover, go ahead and put it in the comments or the chat, wherever you're watching from. And we look forward to seeing some of you on our upcoming workshop. Thanks, guys.